Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another one of our exit interviews for Big Brother Hometown Season 20. It's been an absolute blast seeing how this game. Oh, well, I am back, but I lost my guest. Oh, there they are. I was like, well, I'm so excited to unfortunately be talking to one of the most incredible social players that I've ever had the chance to witness. We're going to talk about it, but definitely in.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, I'm just getting a text that says I can't see you on stream, but I can hear
Yeah.
you. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
hold on.
since I loaded back in, you've been a black screen.
Period. I mean,
I mean, let me ask the audience. I don't know. I support you in however you want to be seen. Except from I don't think I can hear you now. Is this a me thing? Is this a you thing? Such a sav. Is this a me thing? Is this a you thing? I don't know what to do. What do I do? It's just me? Okay, it's not me. Hello, welcome to my show. What is going on? Greetings, loved ones. Let's talk about my day. So I woke up at 9 in the morning and I decided that I was gonna eat some ready brack, and I decided to be a bit, not boring and just go with hot water, and I made it with milk instead, and it was really nice and creamy. I had a little bit of sweetener in there. And then I had a cup of tea because I have to, obviously, otherwise I think I'll be executed. And then I was looking after my nephew and he vomited on me, so then I had a bath. The bath was very relaxing. I used some bath salts, which I've never used before, and I'm pretty sure I did it wrong because I sat down in the bath and it was like sitting on rocks. So that wasn't fun. But lovely aroma turned my bath purple. Um and then I got out and I had lunch, and I made creamy fajita chicken pasta, which
Send me
was
that
really
recipe.
good.
Send me that recipe.
Oh, and I will. It was really good. Actually, I used penne, and so I
Yes.
penne is one of the goated pastas, so underrated. Um, so to get a creamy sauce without using much of the anything that are bad for you, like cream or cheese or stuff. If you cook the pasta in the sauce, the starch releases directly into the sauce and makes it really glossy and creamy. You just have to be patient with it and make sure you stir so it doesn't burn or anything. But it was very, very good. I also put like roasted red peppers in it, which was really nice, but out of a jar because I'm lazy. Um, so that was really good. And then I had the leftovers of that for my dinner. What else did I do today? Not much, to be honest. I rode around a little bit on my new carpet just to get the feeling, because it's a really nice new rug, and it's like, I don't know. I just wanted a little lay around, just a little roly poly kind of action. And then I sat down on the edge of my bed and I was like, I don't have anything to do today because I don't have to socialize with people anymore. Not that I was doing that towards the end of my game anyway. So I was just like kicking my feet, being like, "Damn, I wish CLC was here to get me in a StreamYard to tell me alrighty then before he tells me the instructions for a challenge." Because that was always the best part of my day. Um, Sadly or not, you can decide. I thought about cutting my hair, but then I decided against it because I don't want to look, I don't know, like a bowling ball is kind of what comes to mind. I already have a double triple chin, and so a short haircut is just not gonna work for me. And already my hair is uneven because I cut it myself last time. So maybe I shouldn't listen to my um impulses, intrusive thoughts regarding my hair and style. Because I mean, look at me. It can't get it. You would think it can't get any worse, but it definitely can. Um, so you know that was a thing. Oh, I forgot to take my vitamins, but then I did take them. That was a big part of my day. Was forgetting the vitamins, but then taking them.
Hello?
Okay, hello. I have been talking for like 4 minutes.
I'm so sorry. My computer just said no.
I think that is still a me issue though. Like
Can you?
no, I'm saying like I think your computer saw me and went, we don't need
No.
any more.
No, I don't think so. There it is. Yeah, this. Very
See? Hey, listen, I won best juror or like I don't know whatever award that was last time. So maybe I'll win it again. Maybe I won't. Probably not.
Well, what have you covered in my absence? I'm curious. Did you talk about the game? Did you just vamp?
No, I just talked about my day from the beginning to the end. I was saying just as you came in, I said the biggest part of my day today was forgetting to take my vitamins, but then eventually taking them, so everything is okay.
I'm so glad you took your vitamins.
I know,
Well,
me too.
I do apologize. Obviously, that was wild. But let's jump right into it then. I mean, we're here to talk about BBH 20. I want to just start with a really easy question. Is I know this game was really tough for you.
Yes.
But did you have fun at the very least? Did you have any fun?
Yes. All of my fun, all of the non-fun things was coming from a me side of things and just my life being very chaotic. But also being so competitive in just my nature and not wanting to give up or throw in the towel. So all of it was me. Everything else was amazing. From everybody on prod who I will always just amp up in my prod chat to the players. I've got nothing wrong with any of the players I've interacted with. Yeah, I think this game is just it's weird because I've never been like this. Like ever.
I mean, and I think it was not to say it was fun to watch you struggle through it, because that's not the case, but it was fun to watch you figure it out. Like as you kind of progressed through things and were like, okay, I'm trying to figure out, I'm being pulled in 17 different directions. I'm playing what's best for my head versus what's best for my heart. And that watching that manifest in you in, as you described it, chaos mode, ultimately became fascinating to watch from the production standpoint. Like, because we didn't know what you were going to do either. And I don't think you knew, and you kept everyone on there. The cast certainly didn't know. You kept everyone on on our toes. And some of it good, some of it not so good. I think we'll talk about those things, but
I don't know what you mean.
But like, no one will be able to look back on BBH 20 and not see your impact, which I know was like a goal for you. Whether you feel positively or negatively about that, I know that was something you were like, this season I want to feel good about, whenever I go out, I want to feel good about the game I played, and I feel like, and I hope that you do feel good about your impact on the season and the game that you played, because you certainly made such key decisions that impacted the course of this game, and I hope you can see that.
I definitely do now. But, you know, television, darling. That's what it's about at the end of the day, right?
Well, I want to ask you. I mean, I think it's just important. I think this is the bulk of what we're going to discuss, is really the Rizzo versus Liv vote and the Caro vote, the Caro versus Lamont vote.
Yeah.
And I think in both of those instances, there's such interesting parallel in both those rounds, where it's like you have these people that you really want to play the game with telling you this is what's best, and your heart saying, don't do that. So talk to us about, let's start with the Rizzo and Liv of it all. Talk to us about how that kind of came through, what you were feeling, kind of what you were going for, and you know, talk us through your thought process.
Right. So, like, you know, before that, I felt like I was playing a very decent game. You know, I had to make tough decisions, but I wasn't like, you know, crazy about anything that I necessarily did. And I don't think that I was necessarily not instrumental in those votes either, because I think I definitely pushed my agenda and pushed what I wanted. But this was the first time that and no one can disagree with me here because it's the truth, I was the vote.
Yeah.
I was the vote. And that's a horrible position to put yourself in, because my condition of coming off the block was I had to promise to keep Liv in the game. I will take you off the block if you keep Liv. So I was like, yep, cross over my heart, take me off. You know, I don't want to be on here. Not realizing realizing, because this isn't a new thing for me, right? I've played these games. I wouldn't say that I'm someone who's like incapable of lying, because I definitely am. Everybody is. But I'm not someone who likes to lie unnecessarily. And so I didn't want to have to put myself in a position where I was lying to people unnecessarily. So I tried to make it clear to everybody I talked to, like, listen, I made a promise. I still don't know where I'm at. I want to keep Rizzo. I thought that was best for my game and who I was connecting with up to that point. But in all honesty, one of the key things that happened in that round, which I think surprised me even, was my conversation with Erica. Because Rizzo is what I knew was good for my game, but I wanted to keep Liv in order to keep a promise, because I don't make promises lightly. So when I talked to Erica was like, well, why don't you just do what you want? Why is that such a problem for you? Because, like, as far as I know who you are always someone who is a big personality and can get good with people. Like, you can recover. This is not like going to be the end of your game.
Right.
And I basically was like, you know what? I am a bad bitch. I probably could do what I want. My only worry was that, I think my only real worry was that it wasn't so much Liv that I wanted to save. It was just the people she was working with that I wanted to be good with. So, like, the Prestons, especially Nikki, I felt like I had to vote with Nikki on this vote, and she had already made up her mind. And Erica, I wanted to work with Erica, so I thought, why aren't I voting with the people I want to work with? Not saying that I didn't want to work with the people who kept Rizzo, but those were just already relationships that I felt like I had built up to the higher level. I wanted to get Erica and Preston and everybody else to a higher level as well, if that makes sense. So I thought that if I kind of voted this way and tried to immediately get back in good this way, I would be okay. Cough, cough. No, not quite.
So I'm trying to, like, just make sure I have my ducks in the row. So right after that happened, Megs wins HOH and you're nominated. Like, so were you feeling like, well, like, if it isn't the consequences of my actions, like, is that?
I literally said this. I messaged her and I was like, hey, if you'd like to talk, I'm here. And then she eventually messaged me back being like, not good news. Do you still want to call? And I was like, yes, because if you're going to nominate me, you're going to say it to my face. Like,
Right.
And I remember she getting on the call and she went, hi.
And you were like, well.
But I just burst out laughing. Like,
Yeah.
and it was so inappropriate, and she just looked so confused. But it's like, I'm not someone who's gonna deny what I've done, especially when I've been called
Sure.
out like that. Like, it's, yes, I did this. What else do you want me to do about it? If it makes you feel better to put me up, I understand why. I
Yeah.
know it's not like a personal or like whatever,
Right.
whatever. I understand that it's purely because you don't know if you can trust me right now.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of question marks because I felt like there were more people that she could have put up that, like, I felt like she was, if I was in her position, I would have thought, like, Louise is someone who was obviously very conflicted, which I was. She is someone that I could possibly pull back. And so that was my first immediate red flag, of like, I think this is more than just that vote a little bit.
Right.
Like, I think she has her people, and then I was like on the outskirts maybe.
Yeah.
But a lot of deals being made, I just knew at that point, I was like, okay, well, I'm
Yeah.
on the outs. Like, I'm on the outs.
And I felt
So-
like you handled that really well, for what it's worth. Like, I remember watching and being like, okay, Luis understands that this is a direct response and is not like, because I think you and Megs did have a decent relationship prior to that, but I
Yeah.
think that obviously impacted it, and it was kind of like, there was a whole group of people that were like, I can't believe Luis just did this. Get her out of here. Right. Like, so I remember just watching you take it in such stride and be like, that's the game. That's how it works. And then you win the POV and you really have some time to like actually work on rebuilding things with people. And I think like what
Yes.
we saw over the course of the next couple of days, especially going into the split houses at final 13, and you being in a very safe position, again, a consequence of, you've saved Liv's ass, and Liv is the HOH. There's probably very little chance that she tells you that you're not hitting the block here.
Yes.
So you got some runway to kind of rebuild. I know that, like, and obviously that brings us to the decision to save Lamont instead of Caro. And I think being results oriented, like, you come out of that with a really strong alliance with Jabbar, Lamont, and then you guys add Nikki into that as well. So I can't say that I'm like mad at the decisions, or personally, like, right, who cares what I think, but like, I'm just speaking out loud, right? Like, if we're looking at the results, you came out of the split house with a really strong alliance. Why make that? Talk us through why choosing Lamont. Why get rid of Caro? Why choose Lamont there?
I think so. Okay, first of all, like, one of the things that I think is so key that a lot of people just lack is the ability to do damage control. Like, it's such a small thing that ends up making such a big difference. And I think in some ways I underestimated my damage control, but here I definitely overestimated it because it just gone so well for me. But I think I was put in a position where Liv told me, like, if there's one person not touching the block, it's you, because you just can't, right? And I was like, perfect, that sounds great to me. So I was in a good position, but I was once again put in that position of, I can either make this very decisive that Caro stays, or I am the vote for her to go. Once again, being put back in that swing, there's definitely a lot of parallels. And I think here, ultimately, what kind of pushed me more than anything was, and I said this, I think, was that I felt like BBH 16 for me, I felt like I was a very good, competent player, but was not in the position that I thought I was at all, where I was very much at the bottom of the people that I was aligned with, and that as soon as it made it down to those numbers, I was the first one to be picked off. So when it got down to that final 5 and like Jeff won whatever he won, I forgot. Bye-bye, Louise. You're next. And that for me was something that was always in my mind, because this for me was rewriting the narrative of that season for me, where I really did feel like I was inconsequential throughout the whole game, looking back on it. And this time, especially with someone like Caro and being sat next to her on the block when I left in BBH 16, I didn't want to be in a position like that again. And I wanted to, if I felt like if I went with Lamont and Jabbar, I felt like I would be not target number 1, which I ended up being anyway. but I felt like I would just have a stronger foundation because I knew, like, I thought Kara was my number one at BBH 16, and it turns out Anwar was her whole time.
Right.
And that was so in my mind that I was like, I don't want to be done like that again. If I could just get her out here before the jury even starts, before she can really sink her claws in, which she will, because she's amazing, this could be an amazing position for me to go and build with these people and potentially their allies, because I thought that they were a lot better with some people than they were. But ultimately, yes, okay, I could have gone with Kara and I could have gotten 5th place again, and that would have been a better placement than, what did I get, 9th?
Right. 9th, yeah.
But to me, 9th, 6th, 5th, 2nd, 15th, 21st, I didn't win.
Yeah.
So I felt like if had an HOH or a veto gone the right way for me, I could be seeing the end of the game and I could be seeing a win here. Whereas if I went with Caro and I went the safe option, my win equity I think would have been a lot lower. Not that it was high anyway. The girls were mad. Okay, I listened. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I did what I did. I can't take it back. The only thing that I apologize for would be the fact that I didn't get to tell Caro, but that was planned as well.
Sure.
I don't agree with unnecessary blindsides, but we had talked it over as a 3, me, Jabbar, and Lamont, and we didn't want to cause the aggravation immediately going to live night the next night. We just didn't want to give people time to,
right.
And the way that we were going to try, exactly. And I felt like the way that we were going to portray it, where it was like, okay, let me give a pity vote because Jabbar's already said that he was whatever, which people believed, some people didn't, most people didn't. That's fine. Yeah. I just felt like it was more likely that I would be able to maybe do more damage control than flat out an hour before, hey, I decided I'm evicting Caro. Now Liv's mad at me. Caro's going to be trying to get on cool with me. Trey's going to be mad. Let me at least try and figure out somewhere that I can slip on through. Even if it doesn't work, I want to try.
Right. Gotcha. No, that makes perfect sense. And I think like that perspective from it's hard to see that perspective from the outs, from like in the game, right? Like from the outside, I think a lot of us were like, whether we agree with the move or not, we fully understand how Luis has gotten here, right? Like we fully understand your thought process and I support you in making whatever decisions you want to make, right? Like that's your game. That's the way it goes. I think like, and I think once you sat down and said that to us, any doubt about whether it was the right move or not kind of like went out the window because we're like, because it's the right move for Luis and it makes sense. And I think so. And I think like, obviously through the first 2 rounds of jury, the decision paid smart dividends for you. It paid really good dividends in that, some of your allies win HOH and that you're able to control kind of what's happening in the house as far as who's getting the boot. And that's great. Had that continued, you're sitting here, what are we at? Final 7 now? Final 6 now? You're sitting there with them, right?
Yeah.
So it really did come down to, I think that like ultimately just the comps didn't play out in your alliance's favor.
Came second in both the HOH and veto.
So many in a row.
I must have a record of like most second places in a season because that was insane. Like,
so let's get to the 3rd round of jury. So obviously you are put up here on the block, and I believe you were sitting against Jabbar. Is that correct? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that day, because I remember you getting to a point where you were like, why are these people not evicting Jabbar? Like,
and I still say it. Because, okay, and there's a certain, okay, while I didn't know exactly where the pieces 100% were, I knew generally where people were in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that Mex putting me up was a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of not of a surprise. Like, I couldn't have been like, but I was a bit like, like that doesn't necessarily make the most sense to me, and it's not something I would have thought that she would do. but I'm not surprised just because of the general perception of me. Jabbar told me when he was HOH that a lot of people were pushing for me to go up. When I said this to Meg, she was like, well, I wasn't one of them. I want you here, girly, just for her to win HOH and be like, Louise, I want to put you up. And she said it was between me and Liv or whatever. But I knew as soon as she said that it was me. That you can't let the cat out of the bag and then put the cat back in the bag because she's gonna claw her way out. It's just you draw a line in the sand there. I honestly do not understand even now, even if you're in that alliance, why you would get rid of me here. The only person I feel like it made sense for was Megan, so I'm gonna give props to her because if she convinced them, that's one thing. If they made the decision on their own, mistake. Because Jabbar had a capability to win this game that I just do not. He also had won more competitions than me. He was more likely to stay. Like Jabbar surviving on the block, come the vote, is I don't know how anybody sees that that's okay. But like I give props to him because it's something that I can't do. I feel like people are too tempted to take the shot at me.
Yeah.
I don't know why 100% because I couldn't win an HOH to save my life apparently. But I just felt like, considering that I was willing to go far with people and I was telling the truth to people like Megs and Liv, despite my working relationship with them, I wanted them in the game because I knew that if I had any hopes of surviving the block, it would have to be next to big, bold players like them. Because again, I'm just too tempting of a target to not get rid of at those points. So I think it was silly to get rid of someone who had the capability of not only winning comps, but who would have kept you safe, was a vote for you to stay if you were on the block, and ultimately you would beat at the end, versus someone who would put you up, would vote you out, would beat you at the end. I don't know. For me, it was a clear decision, but for them, they just weren't seeing it. You're on mute, by the way.
I am. Unfortunately, my job is calling me, so we do need to start wrapping up. So I want to get your take on, you know, where things are going and kind of where we're headed to. Obviously, live night happened between your exit and now. But as the game is continuing to unfold, what are some of the things that you're looking for? What are some of the things that you're noticing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this alliance is taking themselves right to the end, and that's okay. Boring, but it's fine. I think that people like Liv and Mex are going to struggle to get to the end. But if they feel like this was their only way, then whatever. They just have to get there, and then they can shut me right up. So if big players like that, I'm always going to be targeted to players who are like me because I'm egotistical. So if those people get to the end, they're going to have a really good chance of getting my vote. But if they don't get to the end and they're following into jury, they're going to be getting just a little bit of a mouthful from me, but in a nice, loving, caring stroke on the hair kind of way. I'm looking for someone who can own their deception, own their evilness, because that was me this season. And again, I'm egotistical. And I want to see more than anything, and I believe this is the most important thing, what mistakes did you make? But more importantly, how did you recover? Mm-hmm. I love it when people make mistakes. I love it when they come back 10 times stronger.
Yeah. And I mean, that's your story here. I mean, there were certainly things that you did for you that other people were like, that was a mistake for Luis to do. But for you, it made sense. And you came back and you escaped. I mean, whether it was through winning a competition, getting the right thing at the right time, like you found a way to get back into the fabric of the game. And that was always so incredible and fun to watch. So thank you so much, Luis, for being a part of Big Brother Hometown Season 20. It was an absolute pleasure to have you back. And I'm excited that you're going to get to help us crown a winner in just a couple of days from now. So
me too. I always love BBH.
Good. Well, we love that, and we love you. And we, like I said, always a pleasure to have you. And we're so thankful that we asked you back and that you said yes. So we are truly the lucky ones. Thank you guys so much for watching this exit interview. Sorry for the beginning, the like awful technology issues I was having. I have no idea what happened, but it is what it is, and it's fine. So be blessed. See you guys soon for other exit interviews. It's Hell Week, so lots happening. So make sure you're paying attention. Bye, everyone.